And now the national anthem of Uganda.
Good afternoon and welcome everybody once again here at Gahanga International Cricket Stadium. The game this afternoon between Team Uganda, the table toppers, and Team Botswana will be taken on this afternoon. As we see what happened out there in the middle for the toss.
Welcome to match day number 9. It is match number 18 of the ILT20 Continental Cup powered by Fancode. With me in the middle are the two captains of Uganda and of Botswana, together the match referee, Riaza Talisha, who is the captain of Uganda. He is the home team. He will be flipping a coin. Tails is the call? Heads it is. Riaza Talisha, you've won the toss. What are you going to do?
We'll bet first.
Any particular reasons?
Just we want to set a good target in this wicket, yeah.
Any changes in your side today?
Yeah, we have 3 changes. Dinesh is out, Alpesh is out, and Pascal is out.
Best of luck in this one. Karabo Motlanka unable to win the toss today, but what would you have done?
Probably would have had a bet today.
Any particular reasons?
We still feel that the track is quite worn out now and to take some turn in the second innings, but you just have to take it as it comes.
Well, it is your last game of the tournament eventually, but any particular changes in this one as you move forward?
Yes, just the one change. Boemo Kosimang comes out and then Tumelo Mpatani, the youngster, comes in.
Right. Best of luck. That was the news from the middle. Uganda won the toss and elected to bat first.
And here we have the lineup for Team Uganda: Simon Sisazi, Robinson Obuya, Raghav Dhawan, Riazat Ali Shah, the skipper, Shridip Ganpat Mangela, Juma Miyaji, Fred Akilam, Cosmas Keuta, Joseph Baguma, Frank Subuga, and Henry Senyondo.
Having a look at Team Botswana, Karabo Motlanka leads the side with Monarchs Kassaman, Vilbara Krishna, as well as Terence Pereira, Rejne Onde. It's good to see him there. Maloki Moketsi, Boemo Kumalo, and Tumelo Mpatane will be key members of that bowling side, as well as Katlopete. Tatayana Tose, back in the side, was left out yesterday. Having a look at things, how they stand on that table. Uganda top of that table. Really no reason to talk about them. 8 in 8, 16 points. 3.61 is their net run rate. Nigeria, they won today, so they have 8 points. Pretty much they are safe, you would say, in sealing the second place. So now this one's just to see how things end up. Can Botswana give that one final push to get a win and go home with something positive? The two openers for Team Uganda, Simon Sisazi, occupying that top spot there with Robinson Obuya. Outstanding batters they have been in this tournament. It's a good afternoon wherever you're watching this broadcast around the world from. My name is Tawanda Eli. I'm in the commentary box with Zaid Khan. Fantastic afternoon, Zaid.
Lovely, lovely afternoon. The sun is out and lovely batting conditions. Good to see Team Uganda batting first. Will be a great exhibition of batting.
Choosing to bat first is what Uganda has gone with, looking to give their openers some time out in the middle before tomorrow's final. Few changes made to the side that you saw there. Alpesh Ramjani was left out today. The man that has been key, almost you can say that he is sort of like the MVP in this tournament. He has been a key factor. As well as Danish Nakrani, Pascal Murungi, they've all been rested today. And those are the 3 changes that you see happening in the Ugandan side. And then as for Team Botswana, Valentine Bazo, the wicketkeeper, still out. Malcolm Badenost is also out because of injury. Alfred Khoisamang is also out. Boemo Kumalo to start up things. He'll be opening up from the airport end. The sun shining. But ever, you know, with the weather out here, it might be this bright, but it could turn at any point in time.
Facing is Robinson Obuya, who's been having a great run himself throughout the tournament. One last game before the big finals.
Good line. A good start. Movement of the surface. Boemo Kumalo, he'll be encouraged by that.
Getting some carry as well. New Cherry pinging off the surface really well.
The man in your picture, third leading run scorer Oscar Manishimwe is at the top with 251. Salim Salau, 225. And he is on 222. It's good to see Boema Kumalo getting that kind of movement. But what I would love is to him to try and target that off-stump area a little bit fuller, for him to use that swing early on, because where he's pitching it at the moment, Robinson Obuya has a full view of how that ball is moving.
Pops it in the air. Will beat the fielders. Or even an edge. A top edge goes for a maximum.
Well, this is the first to see. Usually we see top edges going behind the wicketkeeper, but this one, it is in front. And it goes all the way straight as an arrow, hitting that side screen for 6. He was targeting to work it almost onto the onside, you would say. Wow. Robinson Obuya, you should be the only batter I know in the world that has done that. Played late, trying to see the movement of the surface, and that's why he played that late. Look at that top edge again. It's like as if it came off the middle of the bat. But that was the top edge all the way for 6.
And it hit high on the side screen there, where most batsmen struggle to get to with the middle of the bat.
Oh, this time looking to try and bring it into the big right-hander. But worked for one. They take a single, change of strike.
Final delivery to come in. At times you can't say no to the cricket gods. If they're willing to give you a 6, you take it. In cases of Robinson Obuya being fortunate.
Now, for a moment I thought that was a catch, because it went really up high. It took a minute for people to realize, no, this is actually going the distance. Boema Kumalo just having a look at his fielding options. Top ball to finish the first. Uganda are 7 for no loss after the first one. Coming into the second over, it'll be pace off. Karamu Mutlanka turning to his left arm spinner, Katlo Pete. So one end it's full pace on with Boema Kumalo, and the other will be slower. That's from the pavilion end. Strong breeze coming through across the stadium from the east to the west here. You can see the trees shaking behind Robinson Obuya. Tossed up. I don't think that's the area you would want to bowl to Robinson Obuya. You would want to draw it just a bit back. He'll never look at first, but trust me, he's a man that always loves to go hard at it.
Does like to take his time, settle in. Plays it around the corner. Wanted to pick a single, but denied by his partner Simon Sesazi. Punched off the back foot. No run taken. Great start this by Katlo. Started off with 3 back-to-back dots. Oh, this time beats the fielders, and that will race away for 4. The timing behind that was exquisite and excellent.
Now power behind that. Made room by clearing that front foot, hitting it as straight as possible. That's Robinson Abuya. Too short. Man under it. It'll beat the field out in the deep. That was an intentional short ball, hoping that he'll play that shot. But it was flat and hit hard. The fielder gave a valiant dive but not able to get there.
That would have been a massive moment. Picking up Obuya early means a lot. Botswana might regret not picking up that opportunity. We're done with 2 overs here. 15 for no loss, Team Uganda. Buemo comes to continue spell from the same end, the airport end. Facing him is Simon Sisazi.
Oh, taking a shot at the stumps there was Vinu Balakrishna. However, his throw was slightly off. Quick single though. An explosive Robinson Abuya is on strike with 15 from 11. Simon Sisazi has just only faced 2 deliveries so far. Buemo, the man, if you remember him, bowled that over yesterday. Played late, trying to have a look if Buemo is having any movement of the surface like he did in the first one, Robinson Abuya.
Yeah, that's one thing this game of cricket does allow the players to do, is to burn the bridges of yesterday and start afresh. Get over your mistakes. Give yourself another innings.
Timed well. It's in the gap and it'll run away to the boundary. That's a brilliant piece of timing. Played it late, but was able to place it in between those 2 fielders in the covers quite well. Robinson Abuya.
Pierced the gap there perfectly. Penetrated, driven, the power, timing, placement, everything perfect. A carpet shot. Goes for 4. Elegant looking shot that by Robinson.
Leg side this time, just chipped again. That'll be 4. It'll be back-to-back boundaries for Robinson Abuya. And this is what happens to Buemo Kumalo when he's struggling with his line and length, or when he gets hit for a boundary. He'll try something new to overcompensate on this occasion. And he pays a heavy price. And over that, look good with just 1. Now has 2 boundaries in it. Better.
Runs are flowing in. Nice and easy for the Cranes. It's the Cranes versus the Zebras this afternoon.
Yeah, battle of the animal kingdom. Will they gallop or will the Cranes fly? Well fielded. Good stroke, even well played on top of the bounce. Trying to punch it through the covers. Well, that sees the end of the 3rd. It'll be 24 for no loss for Uganda after 3.
Contrasting visuals out there in the middle, and the bright green deck of Gahanga, and right behind that the gloomy hills of Rwanda, the misty in the distance.
Simon Sissazi in your picture. Magnificent outing that he had in the first game that he came into the Cricket Crane colours in this tournament. He's had good starts. It's good to see him back in the side. He's hoping for a big one in this tournament. An opportunity for him again. Just punches it down the track just for a dope ball though.
Oh, lovely effort there by Pereira. Saving valuable runs. What a stretch.
Good piece of fielding, you would say. It was aerial for a moment. Caught it on the bounce. Definitely in the gap where he could have easily given up. But no, he's putting his body on the line there. And good piece of fielding from Tarindo Pereira. Something new from Robinson Obuya. Trying to play a deft touch. Something we're seeing for the first time. Known as a power hitter, but great use of the hands there.
He usually does that against the pace bowlers. Surprisingly, he's done that against spin.
Thick outside edge. There'll be chase, but the fumble by Buemo. I don't see it running away for 4. Katlapita will pull his trousers in anguish. Trying to play it in front of square, but the outside edge caught it and it went just flying to the boundary. The fielding effort was poor.
So much effort put into that. Goes down for 4.
That's where you wanted to play the first one. Burst through the covers. But this one, it will not get to the boundary. Although they gave chase, they're coming back for 3. And they do it with ease.
Excellent running between the wickets. And you can almost feel how calm the Ugandan dugout is. Very confident boys. The big boys have bullied the rest of the sides throughout this tournament so far. But the other thing that I really liked about the Uganda squad is the amount of experiments they've done throughout. Trying out different batting lineups, allowing the bowlers, allowing the youngsters.
Big boys they are, big boys they have shown, and big boys they've proven. Going to be end of the 4th. 32 for no loss.
We get into the 5th over now, and there'll be a change in bowling. Tateone Tosei will be coming in from the airport end.
Punch square of the wicket. Bit of a fumble. Allows them to get 2 from Kaklapit. You have to keep your eye on the ball always. He apologizes to Tata Natose. He'll not be impressed because that's his first delivery into his spell here. Already conceding 2 runs when it's just supposed to be 1.
The presence of mind and the alertness there by Robinson Obuya is second to none. He kept his eyes on the ball. Tiniest of fumbles there and he took off. Just a quick question, Eli. I've been to Uganda myself. I believe you've been to Uganda. How about Botswana?
Well bowled, well played. Just worked leg side. Coming back to your question, I've been to Uganda on several occasions. You can literally say I stay there. Botswana, been there. Spent a few years near the border there to Botswana. And I was back when I was still a youngster, school age. We used to cross the river, cross the border without even needing a passport. But it's a fantastic place to be. Beautiful people, beautiful culture. It's good to see them playing cricket. Pace off. And well worked again by Simon Sisazi. He's been there for 6 deliveries. Simon Sisazi is only made 2 from there. When will you be visiting Botswana?
Definitely a place I've got on my book list. Oh, and the bat has come off. He's lost his grip. We're asking for a change of glove. Simon Sisazi.
The glove's losing grip there. Unfortunate enough, it didn't land in anyone's face. Away it went. It'd be an interesting case whereby the bat is the one that gets caught and the ball goes for 4. Going for another big heave. And misses it, finds a thickish outside edge. And given by the umpire, there was a snick on that. Playing across the line. Tatena Torses strikes. Simon Sisazi has to go for 2.
Yeah, the on-field umpire there, Gaston, just waited for the batsman to walk off. It was that obvious. But you've got to do your part. Raise the finger.
Poor short selection, you would say there. Playing across the line and he praised the pie. Simon Sisazi gone for 2 of 8. Uganda lose their first.
That's an early breakthrough for Botswana. Exactly what they needed. They've lost. They've picked up 1 big wicket. It's 35 for the loss of 1 now. Tatayone ends his first over, giving away 3 runs and picks a wicket.
Five overs, 7 bowled into the 6th, the last of the power play. A big heave goes straight, never before. What a way to start things off in the last over of the power play. Adding a little bit of impetus is Robinson Obuya. He's a man on a mission.
Yeah, picked up the lengths very, very early there and pounced on it immediately. Some power behind that ball. Starts off with a boundary.
Looking for a single. It's not there. Well, have a look at that figure. Robinson Obuya is on 37 in your screens there from 24 deliveries. 39 is what Uganda have accumulated. So you can see who's been doing the majority of the scoring. Oh, looking to cut that one. Just going a tad bit lower than the bounce of the ball. Full face, punch and go. They run. That's good cricket. Good anticipation as well from Raghav Dhawan, the newman that has just walked in after the fall of that wicket of Simon Sisazi. Not much contribution he made, 2 from 6. Again, another opportunity for Dhawan to make an impact.
Yeah, plenty of eyes on him. Plenty of fans watching back from back home. Pops it in the air. Will be taken. Early dismissal.
Well, we were talking of an opportunity. Golden duck is this one for Raghav Dhawan. Trying to figure out what was he trying to do there. That's an agricultural shot from a top order batter. Looking to swipe it away. He had already moved across the line there. The length was drawn back and he played a terrible shot and paid the price. Dhawan gone for a golden duck.
As the final delivery of the power play comes in, as golden as it gets. Very, very strange approach to playing a shot like that.
Uganda 40 for 2 in no time. Shrindip Mangela walks in. He's also been a considerable run scorer in this tournament, Shrindip Mangela. Has been able to accumulate runs. It doesn't accumulate them quite fast like most batters we've seen in the tournament. Well watched. He has 141 runs. Best of 65. And 6 overs done. That's the power play completed. Uganda are 40 for 2. Let's have a look at the highlights of how the power play started. A fortunate 6 there. 1 for the Oz. And played some power strokes down the road. It's been Robinson Obuya throughout this power play. The majority of runs are from him. In all parts of the ground, neatly timed at times. And also great use of the wrist as well. But also he has played some fortunate shots courtesy of some sloppy fielding. And that's the wicket that fell first, Simon Sisazi. And then there was a straight shot played by Obuya. And then that agricultural shot, we saw the back of Raghav Dhawan. That completes the power play, the 2 wickets lost and the 40 runs accumulated. There'll be changes in voices in the commentary box. Bob Sunga Bashir will be coming through with Davis Karashani.
Thank you, Eli and Zaid. Tatoyane coming in to ball his second over. The man who picked up the first wicket, getting rid of Simon Sisazi. Change of pace again. Driven powerfully straight to the fielder at covers. That was struck powerfully, not giving Any chance to that man, Karabo Mutlaka? 43 for 2 after 6.2 overs. Welcome back, Davis, into the commentary box.
Thanks a lot, Bob. It is a match number 18 of the tournament. And you feel it's been a long marathon, you would say. But you're getting to that finishing line. Obviously, Uganda topping the group. Nigeria managing to win what looked like that semi-final in this morning's game against Rwanda. So the top 2 ranked sides in the tournament will log horns tomorrow afternoon in that final. The ILT20 Continental Cup, powered by Fancode. But back to the business here right now. Uganda will feel they could have done a bit better with that power play.
And of course, with 43 runs on board, you would feel again for the Zebras picking up 2 big wickets. Simon and that man, Raghav Dhawan, who's had not the best of the tournaments. Falling cheaply, I would say, on a short ball, a half tracker from Mokesi, a ball that he would have hit to that place at Logogo Copper Chimney, ends up getting that top edge.
Clips that off his pods. Easy pickings there for Sridip Mangela. But speaking about Raghav, just feel for him. Just spare a thought for him. I just do not feel he's obviously done as well as many people would have expected. Today got a short delivery. He could have hit it anywhere around this beautiful city of 1,000 hills. Anywhere around Kigali. But somehow managed to find a way. It was a lot harder to get out to that than hit it. But unfortunately lost his wicket. If there was ever a time for the Uganda cricket psychologist to speak to a player, I do not think it gets any better than now. Having a session with Raghav, hopefully can get him going yet again.
A very good running between the wickets from these two. Robinson Obuya, who moves to the 40s, 43 off 29. Emmanuel scored 95% of the runs. Looking, of course, to put a very big gap between him and the second one on the batting card in the leading run scorers in this tournament. Last ball from that man, shot number 17, who's been very tidy, going for only 9 runs in his 1.5. A good drive down the ground from Robinson Obuya. And with that single, we come to an end of the 7th. It is 46 for 2, 47 for 2, I beg your pardon, after 7. Moving slowly and steady is Team Uganda.
Looking at the batting card there for Uganda. Simon was sent back packing too early. He's got only 2 runs of 8 deliveries. Robinson Obuya is cruising 44 of 30. Raghav did not trouble the scorers. Only first 1 delivery. And Sridip Mangela is out there on 1 of 3. The bowling card for Botswana. The more important column there is the wicket column. Mula Moketsi picking up that 1 wicket. Gazun going for 5 runs. And Tatayone picked up that 1 wicket. Going on for 10. Just speaking about, I'm a big believer on some of the couple of people been around say it quite a lot that in life you'd rather be lucky than good. In these 7 overs so far, we saw a big leading edge from Robinson Obuya that flew to the screen for 6. In contrasting fortunes, we saw a short delivery bowled, got a little bit of patches from Mula. And somehow, unfortunately, Raghav managed to get an edge to it. Just flew straight to the field at short fine leg. Contrasting fortunes and just the aspect to do with luck and how important it is in success.
Davis, when it's not your day, it's not your day. But again, talking at that top edge of Robinson Obuya that went all the way for a maximum, you would see from the way he had gone for the shot, trying to heave it on the Kaukon region. Of course, with the full flow of the bat, allowing it to beat that man in the deep. But Raghav Dhawan, he didn't look like he was trying to play a big shot, calling 2 minds. A very good, intelligently done by Sridip Mangela, knowing there's no fielder in that vacant region. Looking for the third one. He takes on the arm of the man in the deep. A very good running between the wickets, getting 3 runs to add to the total. 50 comes up for Team Uganda.
Look at that replay. I repeat, it's a good thing we're in the commentary box. But that's being called as a no ball, foothold no ball. Big one there from Muller. The perfect man to be on strike, Robinson Obuya, is on strike. Bob, if you're taking a few bets, where do you think Robinson Obuya is going to muscle this one, or at least attempt to muscle it?
At the pavilion where, of course, his chairman is. Decides otherwise. Going at deep mid-wicket. He will be happy for the 2 runs. Of course, coming off a free hit.
It's a good thing you didn't put even a saint on that. You'd have lost full and square. Robinson Obuya is 1 hit away from picking up yet another 50 in this ILT20 Continent Cup powered by Fancode. He's had a tremendous tournament.
As for the on drive on that occasion, enticing delivery there from Moloki Moketsi, trying to drag him out of his crease. Deft touch straight to that man at quad pointer. They sneak in for yet another single. Just 2 runs shy of that half century is Robinson Obuya.
Botswana will know that Sridip Mangela so far in the tournament, he's been guilty of some very ordinary running. He's lost his wicket that way. And for him as a player, he would obviously not want to go down yet again as a run-out candidate. But Muller has 1 delivery to go. He'll want to close out this over without conceding any extra runs to try and hold back this Ugandan onslaught, you would say.
Into the pads, flick straight to that man at short fine leg. Very good over from Moloki Moketsi. Very tidy in his first 2, going for only 14, picking up, of course, that wicket of Raga Davon. 56 for 2 after 8. Tatayone coming in to ball his 3rd on the trot from the airport end. He's been very tidy, giving away only 10, picking up a wicket. A man who recovered impressively with the ball, of course, after those 2 games where he went for 28 and 26. Puts it down, he's the captain, chipping in the dive at covers. Sridip Mangela is being given a life. Let's look at that on the replay, Davis.
Good intelligent bowling there. Takes off the pace. Manages to get that drive, half-hearted drive there. The catch is not completed by Karabo. Yet again. This time it's raining oohs and ahs for Botswana on the field. Run out opportunity. It is all happening here. Match number 18.
That man, Sridip Mangela, will live today another day. Been given 3 chances in 2 deliveries. This time round, chipping it just over the captain at covers and almost getting out. Not the accuracy of clean pickup from the captain, from the wicketkeeper Kasoman. living, of course, a life of a cat is Shredip Mangela.
But for the class that he does possess, when you look at his technique, very compact technique, he has the ability to play those deft touches, but also has the ability to switch gears and showcase his power game. Just want to see him play a more controlled inning.
Into the pads from Tatayone flicked. There's a man in the deep. Vino who cuts it off to only 1 run. You'd feel for that man, Tatayone, almost having his man twice in this over.
Yeah, just slightly going back to yesterday's game, obviously, we saw Nigeria chase 50 runs in just 15 balls. You felt that perhaps maybe Botswana missed the trick by not bowling maybe Kadlope to Mula early on, especially against Nigeria. But today you can see that the Seamers have pulled their length back and trying to avoid getting to that hitting arc over these Ugandan batters.
And of course, courtesy of that man there on your screens, making sure he pulls back the scoring rate of Team Uganda just right under that 7. You'd feel he would love, of course, some contributions from the spinners, Cattle Pete and Moloki Moketsi. Full again, driven on the up from that man, Robinson Obuya. Looking for the second one, but Robinson Obuya tells his partner, hold your horse. He moves to 49 of 35. What a gem of a player he is.
Yeah, very easily been one of the most consistent for those men in that yellow and red. He built his game around power hitting, but it's not just power hitting. He has elegant hands. Doesn't move his feet much, but his ability and trust in how well he will do with getting those hands in line of the ball has come to be his strength.
Full ball on the occasion from Tatayone. There's a fielder in the deep, Vinu, who does a very good job in the deep to cut it off to only 2 runs. Talking about that man, of course, Robinson Obuya. The difference I'll tell you from him and the rest of the openers this Team Uganda have tried out. It's a very good ball. He tries and makes sure he gets a single off it. Of course, believing in his power. And the technique, to me, has been very key for him. Always getting into the line of the ball. Making sure he doesn't have much to give to the bowlers to work with. Full again, not enough timing from that man, Shredip Mangela. And with that dot ball, we come to the end of the 9th. 62 for 2.
And from one left-arm orthodox spinner, there is another bowling change, and in returns Kadlopate for his second spell. It was the first time in today's game that we saw him opening the bowling in the tournament. He didn't do too badly. Went for just 16. Would have liked to go for a lot fewer. But with that drop and run, they scamper through. And with that single allows Robinson Obuya pick up his second 50 in the tournament. He continues his rich vein of form. He's got 50 of 36 deliveries. The men in your frame there, the Ugandans, they will know and hope that he can continue that kind of form. There it is. The celebration we've become accustomed to seeing from Robinson Obuya, but you'll know that the job is halfway done. The 65 deliveries to go in this inning, you'd want to be there for a lot of those. Drop and run. Deft touch. Run out opportunity. Srede Mandela continuing to look like a candidate for some of that lackluster running, you would say. But this time he's home and dry.
50 of 36 from that man, Robinson Obuya. He missed out on a century. That game, the first game they played with Team Rwanda. Can this be the moment for the big man?
You just get a sense when you look at the way the Ugandans have looked to operate so far in the inning. Look to start reasonably slowly, not get out of the blocks too quickly. So you're thinking that they're looking for a big finish, especially now that we're towards the middle phase of this inning.
Goes big Apish, who wants it? 3 fielders converging, including the captain, Karabo Mutlaka, this time round. Doesn't make a mess of it. 50 and out from Robinson Obuya, but what a take and what a catch from that man, shot number 10, leading from the front. He had to cover a lot of ground, running backwards. Ends up picking up an easy catch.
Very well ball here again from Kadlopate. Draws his length back. Robinson Obuya can only get high to it. Didn't get any distance, but very well taken there by Karabo Mutlaka. Running back. Catch well effected. Robinson Obuya, the man in form, has gotten 50 runs of 37, scoring that at 135 strike rate. He'll feel he's done a decent job. Would have loved to go and bat longer. But you'll know that he's given his team a decent start. And with that wicket, in walks the Ugandan captain, Riazat Alisha. He'll know that his last time out there, he did not trouble the scorers, went for a duck of one delivery. He'll be hoping to try and make amends of that.
That man, the captain, joined Shridip Mangela. Yesterday went for a golden duck, as we just mentioned, off Mohamed Nadir, another left arm orthodox. Castle Pete picking up his first, going for 18 in 2.3. Spinners once again are contributing for the Zebras in the middle of the overs, of course. Lunges him forward. He's trying to get off the mark. He's the captain. A very good dive from covers from that man, the captain, who's always leading from the front, Karabo Mutlaka. Extra bouncer on that delivery from Cattle Pete. Not giving any room whatsoever to the new man, the captain, Riazat Alisha. Last ball to come in his third. A little tattoo shot on that occasion. He gets away with it, I would say. Knowing, of course, Riazat, he needs to fast get off the mark. And with that single, we're already halfway stage of the first innings. 65 for 3 is what the scoreboard reads.
The action in the commentary box, Bob Songa. That delivery from Katlopate to finish off that over landed quite short. Bob Songa's eyes lit up. He's here believing that he could have hit that to the convention center in the city center.
I'll tell you, Davis, I would have hit that to the La Palice Hotel where the teams are staying. That was a half tracker. But you tell, of course, from that man, the captain, trying to get off the mark is always key. Change of pace, opening up the face of the blade, getting it to down to deep extra cover for yet another single is Riazat Alisha. Interesting here, Davis, as a former captain, you'd feel people are always saying Riazat walks out with a 50 or a big total, but to me, getting to that 50 or that century, you need to first get that single out. get off the mark, and then you'll think of a big score.
Spoken like the true tail ender you are.
Never in my life have I ever been a tail ender. Tatayone to continue around the wicket for the left-hander, driven downtown. There's protection long off. They keep the scoreboard ticking.
Yeah, I would like to see that graphic on the last time Uganda scored a boundary. Last over they scored a boundary, and you just feel it's been a bit of a slow phase here for Uganda. It's been reasonably quiet. But Botswana will not mind that. They will know that if they can keep this Ugandan onslaught a little bit quiet, even better. They will want to finish this tournament on a high.
Short ball outside offer. Beats everyone, including that man, Kasoman, the wicketkeeper batsman. By signal by the umpire, Rwanda International Gaston Niyibizi. A little bit sloppy from the Zebras.
Beautiful off cutter there from Tatayone. Deceived the batter. And even worse, deceived his own wicketkeeper in there. But good passage of play here for Botswana. You just feel they have put a stronghold on Uganda's attempt to quickly get out of the blocks.
Change of pace again from Tatayone. Getting it to third man is the captain, Riazat Ali Shah. And when you look at that bye that went for a boundary, you'd feel always when you're having a part-time wicketkeeper, that man Kasoman, Valentin Bazo is still on the beach. Those are kind of buys you will expect from the part-time wicketkeepers. But again, you got to stand up for your side.
Yeah, it is an ongoing debate on whether to play a specialist wicketkeeper or a batter who can literally stand behind and just stop a couple of balls. A lot of teams have gone with the latter, get a proper batter and ensure that he can, even when he has gloves in hand, he can do a decent enough job. That's very well fielded off that boot, the big boot from Tatayone. But he's bowled exceptionally well today.
Absolutely magnificent figures there from that man, Tatayone. Going for 21, picking up a wicket of Simon Tesazi. One delivery to come. Bowling his 4 overs on the trot.
I think Tatayone is one of those players in the tournament that have literally gotten better as the days and games have come thick and fast. You remember that he went for 28 in that final over against Uganda in game number 1. So for him to churn out such figures on game day number 9, he'll know he's done exceptionally well and recovered. And with that dot ball, Uganda are 74 for 3 after 11.
There will be change in the bowling from the pavilion end. Tumelon Patane has been brought into the attack. Up against, of course, Shridip Magela and Riazat Ali Shah. Who would you feel like? Who would feel, I beg your pardon, that is assessed now the wicket is Riazat Ali Shah and Shridip Magela. With, of course, 9 wickets, 9 overs to go, I beg your pardon. This should be the moment for the Ugandans now to accelerate and get to that 150 plus. Try and get 9 runs and over. They've been, of course, courtesy of Tatayone's quota that went for 21. Added 33 runs right after the power play. Shows you how good that man has been for his side.
Couldn't have said it any better, but now is the time. With just 9 overs to go, you get a feeling that the Ugandans will want to put their foot on that pedal and get their innings going. They will assess and know that this is the part-timer is just returning into the side.
Plays it on the up is Riazat Ali Shah. Make that 7 deliveries his face to his 3 runs. Not, of course, the normal Riazat Ali Shah everyone knows. But we all know he packs a punch. He can easily accelerate and get that 20 over. Plays it on the back foot, driven powerfully to deep extra cover 2 is the call. A little bit of fumble there in the deep from Tanindo Pereira, allowing them to get 2 more runs.
For me, it's good to see that Riazat Ali Shah has appeared to want to give himself a little bit of some time. Spend some time on the wicket. His ability, obviously, to recover much later is one that we cannot question. Drives that wide of that fielder, long off work to do for the fielder. Valentine Mbazo, the substitute fielder. But that's what you want to see Riazat Ali Shah do. Knock the ball around, turn ones into twos. And look to pounce at that back end of the inning. That's why I've always felt that he's a lot more suited for that number 5 role, because he has the ability both to put in a recovery innings but also to go very, very big.
A very good point there you raised, Davis, and given that Uganda is still unbeaten, they're already in the finals, it would be a very good time for the captain to get his eye in. More of a training session for him with the bat.
Yeah, by his standards, he would have felt that by now he should have at least knocked up 1 or 2 half centuries, but he hasn't. But he's such a selfless player, so he'll not worry too much about his own statistics. He'll know that he has a job to do for his team. And I think just to let I think Riazat Ali Shah has not lost a game as captain in the Continental Cup. I know he's lost 1 T20 game. That 1 T20 game, I think, was a game played in Jinja against Bahrain. But other than that, his captaincy record for Uganda is tremendous.
And you would feel, Davis, we're still yet to see that man, Riazat Ali Shah. Still young, of course, 26 years of age, if I'm not mistaken. Still have some good 6 years ahead, of course, if he stays away from those injuries.
With 1 delivery to go to end the over, you would want the Botswana bowler not to concede boundary. And he does exactly that. And with that dot ball, Uganda are 79 for 3 after 12.
Change of ends from that man, left-arm orthodox, Moloki Moketsi. This time round coming in from the airport end. He has a deep mid-wicket, deep square leg, long off, long on, and a deep extra cover for the right-hander, the captain, Riazat Ali Shah. Beats the outside edge, straight away, getting some patches.
Probably the first time in the tournament that we're seeing Uganda struggle in this middle phase. The dot ball percentage in this one has been quite higher than the normal for them. But this come through for a single. Mangela yet again involved in what looked like a very close opportunity of a run out. But you want to feel and perhaps hope that he can get going. In his first 16 deliveries, Mangela scored only 14 runs, so you want him to up the tempo a little bit. Get that strike rate at least to that 120 mark. You don't want him eating up balls and failing to recover those particular balls much later on.
He's given, of course, 4 chances already. I'll tell you on that previous delivery, if that throw was accurate, Mangela will be in the air this time round. Oh, nearly. That man in the deep decides to save the boundary. He doesn't go for the catch.
Not the tidiest of innings we've seen for Mangela in that Ugandan yellow and red.
What's happening here? The Ugandans not executing, not making good use of those half trackers being bowled at them. Rocks back on the back foot, beats that man at point. A lot of work to be done by Cattle Pete in the deeper. He'll keep it to just under 2. Very tidy bowling from the Zebras. 83 for 3 after 12.5. You would feel they've done a magnificent job with the ball.
I think they've done exceptionally well. Consider just 9 runs in 2 overs. Ferrol struck yet again behind point there. Work to do for Kadlopet, and he does excellently. Keeps it to just 2. And with that double brings an end to the 13th. Uganda 85 for 3. And the young Temolo is going to continue operating from that pavilion end. But with just 7 overs to go, you just get a feeling that Uganda will want to get a move on. You get a feeling they're probably tired of the wait with that waiting game. Drop and run yet again. Run out opportunity.
Direct hit there from the young Silas. Missing the bullseye. With now Riyazat Ali Shah back on the strike, 13 of 16, you would feel that this should be the over for him to get back into the groove. Given that Tumelo has not bowled enough in this tournament. Heading, of course, into the shorter part of the ground, where there's a deep square leg fielder, long on, long off. Not deep mid-wicket, interestingly. He would love, of course, is the captain to get a couple of 6s for his team. Down the leg side, misses it completely, is Riyazat Ali Shah. But we'll be happy as Tumelo will have to reball it.
Pulls it a bit too straight down the leg side. But you get a feeling that at this point, Botswana just want to try and bowl as straight as possible, bowl to their field. They have been guilty of conceding a lot of runs at the back end of the inning. They'll be hoping that today is the day they show that they have learnt and look to improve their death bowling skills.
Not enough timing again from the captain. Gets an inside edge on it. Running it down on the onside. Very good bowling from Tumelo. Started off, of course, his first over, giving away only 5. Has gone for 3 already. Not giving any room to the batsmen, Shridip Mangela and Riyazat Ali Shah.
Especially for a youngster who hasn't gotten a lot of playing time, doesn't have many overs under his belt. For him to come in this final game for Botswana and bowl this well at this stage. He hasn't licked any boundaries, so he'll feel he's done a good job. And he should take some confidence with how he's bowled and performed so far in the tournament.
You see running back to his run-up. He is pumped, of course, knowing he's bowling to A player like Riyazat Ali Shah, a batsman who played the World Cup. You would, of course, love this young man to get up a wicket. Back over length. The struggle continues for the captain, Riyazat Ali Shah. 89 for 3 after 13.4. Getting closer and closer to the back end of the innings. How many more is the question? Is Team Uganda got to add to this 89 before, of course, we leave the commentary box, Davis?
Very difficult to estimate how many will get in the last the back end if they do not even switch gears, which is looking like exactly what is happening now. The young bowler returning into the game, into the side really for Botswana. He's bowled tremendously. He's only conceded 9 runs with 1 ball to go in his second.
You'd love to finish on a high is the young Tumelo. Going for only 9, as he just mentioned. Down the leg side catch was the call, but the umpire says it is a wide. He will have to reball that.
That looked like it took something. But yet again, we thank God we're up here with the commentary box. But will the youngster will have to reball that one?
A bit of smiles there on your screens. By the looks of it, Davis, on the replay, it looked like it clipped off the gloves, of course. Into the pads on the other occasion. This time round, Riyazat Ali Shah gets something from his blade, allowing it to go all the way to the boundary. Very good over from Tumelo Mapatane has been, of course, has gone for 2 boundaries in his last 2. And with that boundary, we come to the end of the 14th with the scoreboard reading 98 for 3. 2 runs shy of that 3-digit mark is Team Uganda. Riyazat Ali Shah on 18 of 20 and his partner Shridip Mangela 17 of 19. We'll take a short break, allowing Mr. Eli Tawanda and Zaid Khan to take us through the last 6 overs of the first innings.
$14 overs done. Now 6 remaining. 98 for 3. Uganda find themselves. Moloki Moketsi into his last over. News of the feet there from Shrindip Mangela. So shifting gears is what Uganda will be looking to do there. You saw that on the first delivery of this over. Shrindip Mangela using his feet, trying to get to the pitch of that delivery. Punched on the ground. And that run will bring up the 100 for Team Uganda.
100 comes up in the 15th over. Mloki Mketsi getting some turn out of the surface. Loud appeal and the finger will be raised as Mloki picks up his second.
Have a look at that again. A full delivery saying that he went for the sweep, saying he hit his glove there, and that's the argument, but that's too close a call. Shriti Mangela has to go 18 of 21. So Uganda lose wicket number 4 for the 100th that they have. It'll be Uganda 100 for 4 at 14.3.
New batter in. Fred Achelam. Another powerful hit of the ball. And the skipper himself, we've seen how big he can hit the ball. Seen him hit one of the biggest sixes around. If he gets in that zone, of course, put the foot on the gas and get going. The surface here is decent. Bowls it down the leg, plays it and helps it around the corner. Lovely effort there. Allows them to pick up just a double.
The first 50 came after 48 deliveries. And the second one came after 42. Slightly a tad bit quicker. But almost you could say it's a consistent pattern that they've been scoring at. Projected score just around the 140 mark.
Still haven't given away 4 wickets for 103 by the scale of cricket that Team Uganda play.
Yeah, I'm going to expect them to escalate things here or amp things up from here going forward. As they just look to navigate the 15th over. 103 for 4 after 15, Uganda.
Ketlow will be coming in once again. Spin into the attack, and we've seen how much Fred likes to play spin, especially in this particular direction, along with the breeze helping it. Oh, got a bottom edge to it. Won't be taking his chances, coming back for a double.
Fred Achelam has had a great tournament. He's been providing a vital role, bringing in some good cameos. It's cut well. And almost a run out. The call was just in time, allowing Riyazat Ali Shah to get back in the crease.
There's a tight call, tight throw there. The turn, the accuracy, timing, and the timing of the non-striker as well. Very precise.
Quicker delivery. Kettle Peter's done well. His bowling in his last over of the allotted 4. Decent economy. Has a wicket to his name. He's bowling in the right areas. Oh, almost sneaking through, but they sneak for one single.
Angling in, coming in with the spin there. Interesting delivery by Catlow.
That's good variation to see from someone that's supposed to be turning it away.
Just
leg
kids-
side.
Just kids it on, especially when you're not the tallest of players on the field there. Skids it on. 16 overs done here. It's 106 for 4.
Terindo Pereira is introduced. He will be a key player towards the latter stages of the Uganda innings. Karomatlanka turns to him to try and minimize the damage that we might expect in these latter stages. And finds a thickish outside edge. And well fielded. And just be one.
Getting a healthy outside edge to that one. For 26 deliveries, Botswana have managed to tame Riyazat Ali Shah, keeping him to run per ball.
Huge swing and a miss from Riyazat Ali Shah. He's looking to launch things here because this is the vital stage. And we'll look at that again.
Look at that swing. Just trying to smash that out of here. Miss out on it completely.
Yeah, trying to play it straight with the flat bat.
Yeah, last 4 overs remaining of play. He's trying to bump up the score. Take it up to 130, 140.
Oh, just falling short of the man of square leg. That was a slow ball bouncer. He saw that one late, played it late, and almost paid a price for that.
Terindo Pereira there, just playing a cat and mouse game with Riyazat Ali Shah, switching up things.
With an offer, that's cracked away. And that should reach the boundary. Yes, it does. Bits the man out there in the deep. Great diving effort there from Tumelum Patane, but not able to stop that one. There was absolute everything for the taking on that occasion.
Such a quick flash of the blade. Enough power behind it and timing to beat that man at deep third man region.
Well balled again. Rolling his fingers in that one. I must say that I've been impressed by Uganda so far. I hope I'm not putting the commentators cursing them because they've really kept Uganda quiet until this stage. One more delivery till the end of the 17th. They've done well not to really concede a lot runs. Riyazat 24 from 30. It's not the usual scoring rate that we see or strike rate from him.
Just plays it around the corner there, down the ground, and they pick up a single to end the over. 112 for 4. 17 overs done here.
Botswana has bowled well every over that they have bowled, and just until the 14th over has been below 10 runs and over. And the highest over is 13 that they scored off Tumelum Patane. But everything after that has been under 9 or just about 9 and below. Here's at 25 from 31.
Man, definitely must be boiling under that helmet there, thinking about where can he smash. Hard hands down the ground, he plays it, picks up just a single. There you see the short arm jab is his foreshadow. Same is that man, Fred, his partner in crime, who's on strike now.
Take it. Trying to add a little bit of momentum and impetus. Fred Achelam has to go. Only 6 runs that is put to the total today. Really didn't come through from the middle of the bat, this one. It went in the air. Had a lot of air on it, not enough distance. And Venu Balakrishna completes the catch there. And the celebration, Shikadon style. He has to go 6 of 6 for Fred Achelam. Uganda 113 for the loss of 4.
It was a dish ready to serve. It was boiling for some time. The pressure kept on. And Fred pops it in the air. Simplest of catches taken there. As Uganda use the 5th. New man in, Juma Miyaji.
Poema Kumalo has done well, has picks up his first wicket here. If Botswana can just finish off well here, they've done themselves a big favour. If they can restrict them just to under 130, you would say. Just work down the ground. It'll just be one. Something that Botswana need to work on is their death bowling. Because in these latter stages, you have 5 wickets in hand and 5 wickets of people that can hit the ball. Cosmos Stewart is still yet to come, as well as Joseph Baguma.
And we've seen by previous performances, Cosmos is not to be taken lightly. So is Juma. Juma is well aware of this ground. That will race away for 4. A much needed boundary for Team Uganda here.
Yeah, that one coming off the inside edge there. He was looking to heave it leg side. Inside edge that went fly into the boundary. Terindo Pereira tried to cut it off, but couldn't. It was too fast for him. It's a good over so far. 9 or 8 runs from it, rather. That's 6, I beg your pardon. That'll be wide. Looking to throw the kitchen sink at that one was Riyazat Ali Shah. Eleven extras have been given so far. It's always something to worry about, because if you remove the 11 from there, you're going to be on 109. Rolling the fingers in that one. Goes for uppercut, it will fall short of Tataya Natose. Just keeps it to 1.
As the balls keep reducing here, the pressure to deliver keeps rising, and that just makes it more and more entertaining for us in the first half of the game. As we'll be expecting a couple of biggies to come our way.
In the slots, given the treatment, the time was perfectly set. You could see them lining that one up. Juma Miyagi plants that one straight right in front of the side screen there.
Yeah, we asked for a biggie. We got one. Instant delivery. Long levers of Juma Miyagi. Depositing it down the ground for a maximum.
At the end of the 18th, Uganda are 126 for 5. They have 12 remaining deliveries to try to work out how much they can get from here.
Yeah, Juma nearly taking on that camera lady down the ground. She had no idea the ball was coming her way. And again, it's that part of Team Botswana where
Swing and a miss.
where they don't get to finish it off well. We've seen it so many times where Team Botswana struggle at the back end of the innings.
Yeah, they have to work on that, but good work in this particular over, on the previous over rather. Tarun Pereira now bowling the 19th over. The over that they say that matters the most. People try to get as many as they can in this over so that it reduces the pressure in the last over. Dot ball so far.
Mistimes that one, plays it down the ground for a single.
Yeah, I just get that Riyazat was trying to hit that one a little bit much harder and not able to get the connection that he desired on that occasion.
Yeah, and also trying to hit it a bit too early. He had gone in for that shot way too early, and Pereira slowing it down just a fraction.
It's up in the air. Two fielders running after it. Who gets there? Nobody. It's a chance that goes down begging. He had made great efforts to try to get to that one. But however, he just couldn't gather enough speed to really be under that one. Juma Miyagi trying to heave it leg side. Plenty of height on it. It stayed in there for quite a long time. Just there when he wanted to grasp that one was Moloki Moketsi. And it just lost sight of it. Swing and a miss again. And it's good bowling from Tarun Pereira. Juma's really trying to get going here. Trying to make the connection. He's made 4 attempts.
Juma Miyagi got away with that one. Went miles in the air. Went really vertigo. But
good ball.
Again, deceived by a slower one.
Slow ball bouncer. It's been a good over. A good 19th over. Only 3 runs from it. It also had an opportunity to pick up a wicket. And there's one more delivery to go.
I'll tell you, like, that ball was hit so high. Juma went to the opposite end and came back to his own popping crease by the time it was down. And that's when the catch got dropped.
Guess this one. It's up in the air. Karamu Mutlanka won't get there in time. But it's a good 19th over. Only 4 runs from it. Well bowled. Hats off to Tarindo Pereira. Bowling an important over. It only gives away 4. 130 for Uganda comes up after 19 overs at the loss of 5 wickets.
Last over of the first innings. How many more can Team Uganda squeeze out of here? We've seen Team Botswana batting really aggressive against Team Uganda in the past. So Uganda wouldn't want to tame them.
Right, so we're into the last 6 deliveries here. Boemo Kumalo has been given the ball. We saw him being given the cherry yesterday. And 15 runs came off him. And for Nigeria to seal that victory. Swing and a miss. Good start. Plenty of pace in that one. Juma Miyagi stares down the wicket at him. Banged in short. Not enough height for him to hit it at where he thought it would be. It was a good start from Boemo Kumalo. If they can just restrict Uganda to under 140, you'd say they would have done a good job. But the possibility of that happening comes down the wicket. As I'm speaking, is it possible? And that's deposited many a mile to say no, it won't happen. 136.
That was hit high and handsome. Just a shimmy and lift off it is by Juma Miyagi. Strong, strong boy.
That's a mighty hit. That's what you call a long distance deposit. Namolokimo gets it down on his knees, just crouching there. Because that was hit a long distance. Nothing. Good comeback. Good comeback.
He misses out on that. It stayed flat on him. Last 3 deliveries. What is Miyagi thinking? Does he think about getting off the mark? Does he think about allowing his captain to do some damage? Because they both can have a go at it.
Whacked away. But not enough on it. Tarindo Pereira completes the catch just below the commentary box here. Plenty of distance, but not enough to take it over the boundary. Juma Miyagi has to depart for 16 from 9. It was dug in. Gave it a lot of air on that occasion. And stayed many a mile. Tarindo Pereira, as cool as a cucumber in completing that catch. Juma has to go. Good cameo though, 16 from 10.
Yeah, I believe as bowler, he's done his part. Fair enough total in a T20. 16 of 10.
That's a good addition. Right, Cosmas Cheuta will walk onto the field. 2 deliveries to face.
That too as opening pace bowler. Surely means a lot. Likes of Sunil Narain are lucky enough to do that. Get to open everything.
Hit the sweep on the offside. Christmas just for a single.
Riyazat has tried all he could, but he's tried and tried and tried and just survived barely. Final delivery. Here we go. 137 for 6 now. $138 with an extra. Buemo.
Not a bad plan. New York outside off stump, away from the batter's arc. If he wants to hit that one, he has to reach for it. It's a good strategy.
I reckon thick outside edge.
Again, that'll be called wide. One more delivery. Come on, Buemo. We finish well here.
Last delivery phobia by Buemo. Not able to get hold of himself with the final ball of the over.
It's up in the air. Karau Matlanka doesn't get to it. And they're pushing for 2. And they'll complete the 2. It'll be 141 runs that they finish on Uganda in their allotted 20. A little bit low for what we would have expected. Having a look at Uganda's betting card, Simon Sisazi only made 2 today. Robinson Oboya, magnificent 50 from 37. Raghav Dhawan went for naught. Shrindip Mangela, 18 from 21. Riyazat Ali Shah, a good knock of 34 from 37. Chuma Miyagi had a good cameo of 16 from 10. 141 is what Uganda were able to put up.
And there we have the Botswana bowling card with 14 extras and 2 exceptional bowlers. Buemo Kumalo, despite the economy of 10 per over, he picked up 2 wickets in his 4.
Let's have a look at the highlights of the Uganda innings. It was a Robinson Oboya show. He started off with that one that came off the edge, went for 6. And after that, he was playing some magnificent shots all around the field. Some he pulled away in the classical Oboya style. Some through the covers neatly timed. And others he worked them wrist action there. And then some were fortunate ones. Some thick outside edge, but it ran away to the boundary. And then Simon Sisazi went early. But the Oboya show continued. Came through the power play with magnificent numbers. And that one from Shrindip Mangela, agricultural shot, saw the back of him. Oboya continued piling up the runs until he perished at 50. Some fortunate ones for Riyazat Ali Shah to get off the mark. Couldn't time it well, but it doesn't matter how the runs come as long as they keep coming. That was a brilliant shot leg side. And brilliantly bowled LBW was Shrindip. Riyazat good going. He had a good outing out there, joined by Fred Achelam, who tried to go helter-skelter but couldn't. And then some fortunate ones coming off inside edges. And then Juma Miyagi came in, a blistering cameo. 16 runs with 2 maximums from 10 deliveries. And tried to go for a big one and plenty of air, and that saw his demise. And in the end, that's all that Uganda were able to put up. Do join us after the break as we see the chase for Botswana.
Still managed to put up a decent score.
Yeah, yeah, I did.
This afternoon, this game. Like the meaningful game was in the morning. It's done.
They should have swapped these games around. Should have.
Yeah.
The afternoon.
Yes. So people wait for the results of this one. And they stay tuned in. Otherwise, at this stage, they would be like, nah. We'll just come back tomorrow for the finals.
Bracket 330. Post match. Let's go. David, are these off? Which one? Mics. Yeah. Can you speed things up? Hey, I'm falling asleep here.
Man, well, we're having our conversations. Then when I was batting like Rwanda.
Yeah. Even worse than one. I'm like, man, I can't even keep going. I keep going.
We started our conversations and I even reduced the audio for you guys because I don't want.
Yeah, but you kept me away from your conversations. Especially with it, I was enjoying it. This guy's.
I mean, we were sleeping. I have to buy an energy drink. I gave us one.
I bought an energy drink. I can't feel it. I'm still feeling sleepy.
Ah, man. It was.
This
Let's
should have
party.
been in the
Everyone
morning.
just came just to
Should have
finish the match.
swapped it around.
Anyway, we think at least we have a big final.
Are you sure it's going to be big?
Yep. At least I know.
It's going to be one-way traffic.
No. The last time we was closed. So. Nigeria, Uganda, man. Last time it was closed.
Because of the DNA services.
Where?
It
was boring. We were just
He's hurt
we
himself.
were just talking because we were also these guys were batting like
Now he's saying that he's gotten hurt after scoring no run.
we have
At least Magila is better than Down. Down it's no. Maybe you should change the Down part.
big name.
Guys, stay away from these names and numbers.
It's not suiting.
And I honestly think it's better. It's just some major points. It happens. It does. And it's the hardest thing to explain. You know one of the best things to do when such things happen? Yeah. Do not fret. Yeah. Just take some time. Just because it's not that you cannot feel it. And the more you feel it, the deeper you dig the hole. It's kind of work. You come back, you feel, now what? The movement, nothing. The ball just hit it on. You should be like, game one.
We're starting.
Hello and welcome back for the chaser. Before we get with the proceedings of the chase, let's have a look at the batting chart of Team Uganda. Simon Sesazi fell for 2 of 8, and that man Robinson Obuya once again getting his second half century, 50 of 37, nothing much from Raghav Dhawan, who went for a golden duck, and a very good contribution from the captain, 34 of 37, a couple of big heaves from the tail enders, Cosmas Cheuta and Juma Miyaji. Let's have a look at the Botswana bowling chart, of course, led by that man, Cattle Pete. Once again, impressive figures there, going for only 22, picking up a wicket alongside Tatayone Tsoyes for overs that went for 21, picking up a wicket of Simon Sesazi with a very good economy of 5.2. And that extra column there, 14 extras, as we see Team Uganda in a hard, of course, led by the coach himself, that man, Dinesh Nakrani, with all the experience, having a chat with the bowlers there, Juma Miyaji alongside Cosmas Cheuta. Of course, they will be opening the bowling for Team Uganda. The umpires, Christian Gasana alongside Gaston Ibizi, 2 Rwanda international, make their way for the chase. I won't be alone here in the commentary box. I'll be joined by Davis Karashani. Welcome back, Davis.
Thanks a lot, Bob. You just feel at this particular point, Botswana will feel they have done a decent job of keeping this Ugandan side to clearly anything under 150. They would have felt they would have done a good job if you gave them this particular score at the start of the game, that they were going to have to chase this down against Uganda. They would have taken it with both hands and legs.
That man, the captain, leading from the front again, making sure they get to that 141 in their allotted overs. With no surprise, it's going to be spinner to open the proceedings of the chaser from the airport end. Frank Subuga and the 2 men led by the captain Karabo Motlaka alongside Vinu, the love pace owner. And Riazat Ali Shah has decided to start up with a spin.
No surprises there that Frank Subuga is going to open the bowling from that airport end. We've seen Botswana struggle against the slow bowlers. And Frank is obviously one of those that has made and built a career out of opening the bowling. So this will be something familiar for him to do. And I like this change. Instead of Karabo facing Franco first up, they've opted to go with the right-hander Venu Balkrishna, a man as well who is searching scantily for runs. That's a much better matchup for Vinu Balkrishna than having Karabo Modlanka on strike for Frank Subuga.
No sleeping place for Frank Subuga. He has a long on and a deep mid wicket. Here we go, fast ball. Right on the money is Frank Subuga, who loves rushing. Of course, he's over in no time. Bowling it just under a minute and a half. Not giving any time whatsoever to the batsman to have a chat.
Yes, he's that kind of bowler. Before you look up, he's already at his mark. A very short run up he has. Ball's very straight. Always looking to target those stumps. Look to bowl batters out, but trap them LBW. He's a master of that conscription kind of style. Just dry the runs out for batters.
Right on the one again, another dot ball. Back over length on that occasion from Frank Subuga. A man who's made business in those colors for nearly 3 decades now. Into the pads, trying to sneak in for a single. Very good efforts from that man, Benjamin Baguma Joseph. Tight lines to start with from Frank Subuga. Yet to get off the mark is Team Botswana. Would love, of course, to finish with the maiden. Down the leg side on that occasion, they will start up with their chase with an extra.
But you could see what Vinu did there. Deceived him as if he was down the leg side and then went right across, letting that go down the leg side. But good take from Fred Achalam.
Pitched up on that occasion, driven powerfully between those fielders. Gets off the mark in style is Vinu Balakrishna, getting a boundary off his last delivery of the first over.
Rare bit of width there, but Vinu Balakrishna pierces that gap. Picks up his first boundary and Botswana's.
5 for naught after 1. It's going to be Cosmas Cheuta to share the new cherry with Frank Subuga coming in from the pavilion end. Pace on straight away for Karabo Mutlaka. He would be the happiest. He loves pace coming on up front in the power play. There's no fielder in the deep extra cover where he loves getting his runs up front. Cosmas Cheuta has decided to go with a fine leg. And the third man, interestingly, slipping play for Cosmas Cheuta. Short ball straight up. Get something on it is Karabo Mutlaka trying to hoik it over that fielder in the deep at fine leg. And he gets off the mark is Karabo Mutlaka.
Well directed short ball there. Was clattering into that helmet. Karabo hadn't gotten butt to it. You can now know that Karabo is extremely strong outside the off stump there. He will pounce on anything wide. Same kind of strategy from Vinu Balkrishna. So they'll know that they've not set a lot of runs and they do not want to give Botswana a sniff of a chance of chasing it down. So they want to start pretty well. Look to get up maybe an early wicket or two. Just peg back Botswana. Botswana are yet again, they're another very top heavy side. Very reliant on their top 3.
Short ball again, tries to pull it. Misses it completely is Vinu. I love the intelligence from Cosmas Cheuta. He knows these two love pitched up deliveries up front in the power play. Not giving them any room whatsoever. Rushing them with that short delivery. When you look at the first innings, Davis, the wicket has seemed to slow down.
I think that was always going to happen, especially in a long tournament like this one. You always felt that there'll obviously be some aspect of wear and tear on the wickets. Run out opportunity. He was nowhere in the frame. He had given up. Vinu Balkrishna.
Robinson Obuya misses 3 stumps from mid off. That man Vinu, of course, he's not the quickest between the wickets. He had already given up. Full on that occasion. Not enough timing picking up that man at mid off. Good pick up there, but missing those 3 stumps, you would say, from Robinson Obuya. It would have been 1 wicket down. If, of course, he had effected that run out.
Well, and there is a change in the field there from Uganda. Deep square leg is sent out and fine leg comes in. That will tell you 1 or 2 things. The short delivery will be around the corner.
This is very smart bowling from Cosmas Cheuta, sending that man in the deep. Getting, of course, into the mind of Karabo Mutlaka, knowing he's going to come short, and then he goes for that cutter up front, deceiving him.
The double bluff. That's exactly what you want to see. You want to see thinking cricketers go out there and look to compete against each other. Bob, especially being the local. It's been a decent crowd this afternoon. What are the odds that we could have an even bigger crowd tomorrow? It is a Saturday and there will be a final of the ILT20 Continental Cup powered by Fancode happening here at the Gahanga Cricket Stadium.
Of course, given it to be a Friday here in Kigali, almost getting into that festive season, you'd expect a lot of crowd to come through here, of course, to have some fun and watch Uganda play, whoever qualifies for the finals. They'll be taking on, of course, the men in yellow and green. They have a couple of fans, is Team Nigeria and Team Uganda. We saw some people coming all the way from Uganda to come and cheer for the cricket cranes. So we'll expect to see, of course, a big crowd here tomorrow in the afternoon. That should be the end of the second. 8 for naught, Team Botswana. Frank Subuga will continue from the airport end, coming round the wicket for the left-hander, Karabo Bontlaka. He goes for a sleeping play. Rocks back on the back foot, not enough timing. Straight to that man at covers, Simon Sesazi.
Karabo will be looking to do better. Last time around against Uganda, scored 17 off, literally a lifetime. In a T20 game, his strike rate was way below 100. He'll want to do a lot better than that, but in Frank Subuga, he'll find a fierce competitor, one that has had his number for quite a number of years.
Upish, but the fielder is in the deeper. He'll be happy to be on the other side is Karabo Motlaka. But again, when you look at Frank Subuga's bowling, knowing that he's bowling at Karabo Motlaka, I would love to see him bring that fielder at long off inside the ring and send at least someone in the deep at deep square leg. Force him to play you and up and over. On the back foot from Vinu. Another dot ball. Very smartly done by Riazat, not giving them pace up front. Cheeky, but not effective on that occasion from Vinu. He has faced 11 for his 5. It shows you how good Frank Subuga has been up front in his 1.5. Quarter is the call, and the catch is taken by the captain. First wicket goes down, courtesy of Frank Subuga.
And Vinu Balkrishna, his long vigil, his forgettable series in the tournament. A tournament he'll want to quickly forget. Attempts to go up and over, but that goes straight into the bucket hands of Reza Talisha at mid-off. There it is, 5 off 12. He's not contributed to Botswana's cause. He will know he's a much better batter. He'll have to put his thinking cap on and try to find of getting runs back for this Botswana side.
Of course, with that wicket, we come to the end of the third. 9 for 1 is what the scoreboard reads. Cosmas to continue from the pavilion end. He went for only 3 runs in his first. Full ball cut away straight to the fielder at pointer. Frank Subuga starting off with the dot ball. The young Castleman joins Karabo Motlaka. They've had, of course, a good partnership of 50 before in this tournament. They would love to replicate that if they are to chase down 133 in 101 deliveries.
Aerial ball there from Cosmas, looking to cramp Karabo for room. He will know that Karabo pounces on anything wide above stump. And with that single brings Monu Castleman on strike. He's shown us glances of his elegance, his beauty with the way he uses his arms. Doesn't use his feet much, but he's a sweet time of the cricket ball. So he'll be one of the finds for Botswana in the tournament. It's perhaps time that Karabo Motlaka has found a worthy opening partner for Botswana.
Soft answer from Castleman. Interestingly here, the mid-off is inside the ring for young Castleman, who loves playing it in that particular region. He loves going straight, of course, with the full face of the bat. A batsman who reminds me of another young talent back in the days, Gondaria. Not sure what happened to him down the road, but he was a joy to watch.
Oh yes, Diren Gondaria, Kenyan international. It's good to have him back in their side. But as a youngster, he was elegant on the eye, very, very classy batter. Caught some big innings for that Kenyan side. And many Kenyans will be hoping that he can look to replicate that kind of form that he broke onto the international circuit with.
Talking about the Ren Gondaria, in 2018, if I'm not mistaken, on this particular ground, playing Uganda, Kenya, they scored 246, and Uganda came down all guns blazing, chasing it down, of course, courtesy over. A pitch and catch is taken. Castleman has to take the long way back to the dugout without troubling the scorers. Pitched up delivery from Cosmas Cheuta, not enough. Venom picking out that man at mid-off, Robinson Obuya, who takes an easy catch.
Doesn't get easier than that. Very well taken there by Robinson Obuya. And Botswana lose their second. The wheels are coming off pretty fast here. 0 of 3 balls, but you'll know that he's had a decent tournament for a youngster in the side. With that youngster losing his wicket, in walks Regine Honde, one of the very few Botswana batters who has gotten a 50 in the tournament. The two batters out there for Botswana are the most experienced players for them. They'll be hoping they can put together a decent partnership and not allow themselves to get blown away by this Ugandan bowling unit.
Walks in Reginald Nehonde. He's been in and out in this Botswana team. Comes in after losing 2 wickets for just 10 runs in 3.5 overs. He would love, of course, to assess the wicket first. Get his eye in with the captain, Karabo Motlaka, and try and build a considerable partnership. Full ball right on the money from Cosmas Cheuta. He will end his second over, giving away only 1 run, picking up a wicket. 10 for 2 after 4. Moving at 2 runs and over is Team Botswana.
Frank Nsubuga returns for his third. It's considered just 6 runs. Picked up that 1 wicket of Vinu Balkrishna. But you just get a feeling that both teams, for me, from the toss itself, no team has engaged the second gear. They just haven't gotten into anything beyond that number 1 gear. I feel like it's been slightly of a flat kind of intensity kind of match up until now.
To me, Davis, it's been the wicket for me. Very uneven, of course. It is a tired one, a fourth day pitch, you would say. Right on the money once again from Frank Suboga, bowling his third on the trot. Enticing delivery there from Frank Suboga.
You can see what Frank is trying to do, just trying to clip that pad, that front pad that Regina Honda is looking to plant.
Another dot ball from Frank Suboga. You feel again for that man, Regina Honda, after getting that half century, almost getting that win against Team Nigeria. The next game he was dropped. This kind of course, matchups in the team list can also put back your form and the momentum. A loud appeal and the finger is up. He gets his man, is Frank Suboga. Picking up his second. Finishing his third, giving away only 7, picking up 2 wickets.
Very familiar tactics from Frank Suboga. He will look to get that pad into the way, and that's a very easy decision. Exactly what I talked about. Get that front foot out of the way. Regina Honda, long vigil, 0 off 6. That will bring an end to his tournament. He's been a man that has struggled, of course, with a couple of injuries. He's been in and out of the side. But that man in your frame, Tarindo Pereira, walks in with Botswana at 11 for 3 after 5.
Juma Miyaji will be replacing another speedster, Cosmas Cheuta, from the pavilion end. You would feel for Riazat Ali Shah using his pace bowlers from the pavilion end. Going to be an interesting chase here, given that Senyondo is in the side, and that young man, Joseph Benjamin Baguma, every time he's been given that cherry from the captain, he's made sure he's bowled some tight lines and picking up wickets with ease. Full ball on that occasion, no pace on it. Karabo, after facing that 10 deliveries for his 5 runs, is trying to put on, of course, another pedestrian knock. He's the captain.
You just get a feeling, and you feel sorry for him sometimes. You feel sometimes he plays too many lone hands for Botswana. Not enough consistent performances elsewhere in that mid-order. Oh, that's kept a bit low, a tad low. Something you talked about earlier, obviously, it is playing on its 4th day. So aspects of wear and tear starting to show. Fantastic power play for Uganda. They've managed to pick up 3 wickets and not allow Botswana out of the blocks at all. Consider just 11.
Edged, beating that man, Henry Senyondo in the deeper. A third man gets a boundary, is the captain. Fortune favors the brave. 15 for 3 after 5.3. Using the pace of Juma Miyaji is that man, Karabo Mutlaka.
He's had enough. Tries to take a little shimmy down the wicket. Gets some more to it. And beats that fielder there, third man. He'll be hoping that that boundary breaks the shackles. Run rate at this particular point is 2.7.
In the air on that occasion, Apish over that man at covers. They're running very hard. Cosmas Cheuta gives it a chaser to carry it off to only 2 runs. You say break the shackles, I would say Davis. That man, Henry Senyondo, left up orthodox. Seeing the way the pitch is playing, he will be the happiest, putting a smile on his face. a man so far who has picked up 16 wickets with the five, of course. I would love to see how Karabo Motlaka and Tarindo Pereira play him out after the power play with the field spread, of course. Gonna be very key overs. Those 4 overs from Senyondo are gonna determine if, of course, these men in blue and black are gonna cross that 100 mark. One delivery to come in the power play. Juma Miyaji has gone for 6. Of course, with that healthy outside edge that flew over the wicketkeeper going to the boundary. Short ball on that occasion straight to Frank Subuga at point. Very sloppy, allowing them to pick up another single. His first over goes for 7. 18 for 3 after the power play.
Unable to bring you any highlights from the power play, but there will be a bowling change from the airport end. Job is only getting harder. Botswana require 124 of 84 deliveries. Henry Senyondo will be licking his lips, looking at the two-pace nature of the wicket and the fact that it's getting some patches. Field is already spread. You'd have liked to have an extra fielder in. Attempts a reverse sweep straight up. I would have liked to see another fielder get inside the ring, considering Botswana did not do much damage in that power play. Pitched out a leg stump. But it is more importantly for Henry, it is back-to-back dot balls. Slightly short delivery. It's got straight to the fielder, dim wicket. There is a change in the commentary box. Bob Songa takes a break, and I welcome Tawanda Eli. What do you reckon? What would be your assessment of this ranches at this point?
Well, pretty much Botswana out of their depth. They relied muchly on Karabo Mutlanka, 13 from 18. He hasn't seen much of the strike. It's only 3 overs that he's faced out of the 6 so far. And in that 3 that he's faced, scored only 13. Introduction of another lethal spinner, Henry Senyondo. So it'll be pretty interesting to see how he goes about things here. Tarindo Pereira, another opportunity for him to do better. Didn't add much yesterday in that short 5-over game that he played against Nigeria. Possesses a lot of potential, but just doesn't come to the party sometimes. Looks to power things away. 20 for 3 in 6. Pretty different from the team that scored 49 from 5. I would have loved to see that kind of a team coming out to bat, giving themselves an opportunity to chase 142, which is what I believe is a gettable target. But it's all about application. It's all about belief. Sometimes it's not about the talent that you possess, but the desire to win, because 142 is really a chaseable target, you would say. And they did score 150 against the same side, chasing that big total of 200 plus scored by Uganda earlier in the tournament. End of the 7th over, it's 22 for 3. And 7 overs gone. There's a change in the voice. Davis Karashani, after his question, will take a break. Zaid Khan joins me. Botswana 22 for 3 in 7 overs. Run rate required now pushing at 9.2. Current run rate is 3.14. They really haven't shown up Botswana different from the side we saw yesterday in that 5-over game against Nigeria. Like I said before, would have really loved that kind of side to come back here. Whatever, different side, different day.
Plays it down the ground there, and definitely a different sort of bowling attack as well. A total that might not seem all that high, but with the quality of bowling that is there to defend it, shall make it seem like a peak. 23 now. 3 wickets down.
Juma Miyagi into his second over. Played off the back foot. It's really placed well. Diving effort from Frank there. And saves 2, you would say. Yeah, you do say that the better attack that they're facing, but sometimes for you to take out giants, you need to give yourself a chance. But I haven't seen that from Botswana. They've been pretty much trying to play it safe, and in their efforts to play it safe, and they've lost wickets, they have a slow run rate. I'd rather you go down fighting than trying to be diplomatic about the innings. That is good as well. Pushing for a single. He's trying to get things going as Karau Mutlanka. Let's keep scoring. Let's not just be bogged down.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's all about winning the finer moments, the smaller battles. Have a smile. Have a great time out there. Challenge the challenges. And take it by the chin.
Top shot. That's a brilliant strike. You could feel that was going to the boundary from the moment that it left the bat, piercing that offside region. Great play from Terindo Pereira. He holds the shape beautifully.
You can take it by the chin or drag the bull by its horns. Play it up and over for a beautiful looking cover drive for 4.
That's the kind of play that you want to see. Positive thinking, positive action, and a bit of application as well. Good ball, well played as well.
Final delivery by Juma here. It'll be nice to see Botswana showing some character, some fighting spirit back in this game. And for me, that will be their winning effort.
Now was there need to be hit. That'll be the end of the 8th over. It'll be 30 for 3 after 8. Oh, look at that again. With an offer, just a hint of inward movement.
$30 for 3 after 8. I was away for a few days off LI due to personal reasons. But during your time off, the day off you had here, what were you up to? What did you spend your day doing?
I was about the night before, just having a look at the city lights of Kigali. Beautiful sights to see the hills laid with some bright yellow and orange bulbs. There's a good change of scenery as we see a change in bowling. Reza Ali Shah brings himself into the attack. Medium pace. The second time we're seeing him bowl in the tournament. It was a bit expensive in the first game that he decided to bowl. Down the wicket, Tarindu comes as good. It was against the same opposition. So he's trying maybe to have a better outing. This will be a good contest to see.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the skipper coming in. Most often we do see him bowling, but throughout this tournament he's been holding himself back.
That's neatly timed. Fingertips to it. In at point there. Just keeps it to 2. Pascal Murungi in the point region.
And I feel ever since he's been taking the role of a top order batsman seriously, he's been less focused on his bowling.
It's a good bumper. Well directed short ball there. Brilliant take as well by Fred Achelam, the wicket keeper.
Riyazat Ali Shah. Quality play. We all have our days. He surely does have his. Cricket has its own ways to humble everyone.
Quick single taken. It's good running. Great anticipation and great communication from the two batters. They took off quite well. Oh, look at that. Well, it's a bit close to say. Free hit given. Umpire says there was a no ball. An opportunity for Tarindu Pereira to give this one everything that he has.
Rizu not convinced on that occasion, but the umpire Gasson believes his eyes.
Oof. Very short delivery there. I think that was the second of the over. So that should have been another no ball. Whatever the umpire says, it's okay. Well, those were two short balls because one was first bowled short to Karabo Mutlanka. Evaded it, and this one and was short again. Whatever, end of the ninth, 36 for 3.
And the man that has been terrorizing this side in the past before is Henry Senyundo, coming back into the attack now. Bowling to the skipper.
Yes, Senyundo, very economical bowler. Varies his pace, flight very well. Deceptive. As much as he might be a nice guy, but he's very deceptive.
Yeah, you can see he's cramping up Karabo for room, not trying to make it easy for him to score the runs here. The passage of deliveries is very, very narrow. Not trying to provide too much of width on offer.
Now trying to use his feet to get to that one. Just pulling the length back there, Henry. Noticing Terindo Pereira taking a shimmer down the wicket.
Yeah, taking an extra second longer in his run up there. Just before his release. A slow one gets hit down the ground. Will be just a single. Uganda won't mind those.
Opens the offside. Gets the one. Just get a feeling that maybe Botswana's spirits are a little bit low after that defeat to Nigeria. After putting up 49, they thought that they could defend the 50. Whatever. Nigeria proving to be a firepower. And the shorter the overs, the blistering they became. No room on offer there. Well bowled. This one they did quite well with the ball, I believe, because restricting a side like Uganda, it took a lot of effort. 10 overs done. Halfway through their innings, they're 39 for 3. Required run rate 10 and over. Have a look at the worm there. It's only in the first over that seemed things would go Botswana's way, but there was a wicket in the third, fourth, and fifth. 3 dots in a row there in the overs that they faced, and the worm seems just to be plateauing, coming to a constant.
Yeah, just moving very, very slowly. The two worms looking very different.
Oh, both slow delivery there. I'd love to see Karao Mutlanga give himself an opportunity. And they have 7 wickets. If they can believe that they can get 100 runs in the remaining 10 and over. Well bowled, slow ball again.
The question is, against which bowler would they fancy their chances to take on and bring out the aggressive shots?
A bowler's like Rizu, he hasn't bowled much in the tournament. So really don't allow him to settle. Be attacking as ever. Play your shots. Pulled away. Just be one. There's a man in the deep for that shot. So that's the only way you can get going. Not to hit the fielders. Hit those that are in your arc. Use your feet, target the shorter boundaries.
Yeah, and again, a psychological attack. Attacking the captain himself. Making his over expensive here.
Uppercut. Fall short of Cosmos Chota, who's got a good arm. And Terindo Pereira was in by the time the bells were taken off. Might not be a case of that he was in. Also a case of obstruction to the umpire there. Hitting it square, high and tall. The throw from Cosmos was very good. Right on top of the stumps. But the fact that the umpire couldn't have a clear view of when the bails were taken off there.
Yeah, he looked like he was in.
Smashed down the track. That's a good shot. Very, very good shot. And that'll be 4. That's more like it.
And a no ball.
That's what you want to hear. That's what you want to see. And the sweet sound of the bat. Botswana believing in themselves a bit here. Terindo Pereira taking the charge. Has been there for 2 overs. 12 deliveries he's faced. Yeah, huge no ball. Came down the track. Smashed straight down. Diving effort to save it. Baguma just shot off there. Quicker. That's a zipper. Well bowled. Where did that come from, Rizu?
Yeah, as a fielder, does really hurt.
An effort ball there. A good pace on it. Apesh. No, he's long on, so it won't get to him. At the end of the 11th over, it's 47 for 3.
And once again, the sun is out as we get into the 12th over. Would like to take this moment thanking the camera crew and all, working hard, absorbing the heat to provide the visuals and capture all the live action throughout this tournament, regardless of the weather. Brave, brave people. Flowers to the unit and the production team. Hits it down the ground. We'll pick a single.
I love the fact that Terindo Pereira is trying. Can see the efforts using his feet to get to that one. Because the more that you believe in your abilities, the more that you'll get confident, the more you'll get it right. This occasion, Karabo Mutlanka as well, giving it an effort. That's the only way you can grow. Looking to block all the time doesn't get you anywhere. This is T20. You need to be a little bit more aggressive despite the mountain that might be in your face. .50 came up for Botswana. Smashed. But it'll hit Cosmos Cheuta. It's in the corner region.
Apologizes straight away. Cosmos gave it at an awkward height to the keeper. Reverses that one. Will manage to pick up just a single. Amongst the two, Juma Miyaji and Joseph Baguma, which one is...
What's up in the air? Man, I feel safe there. It was a slow delivery. Didn't get as quickly as he wanted it to, Terindo Pereira. And fortunate is he that it falls in between Henry Senyondo, Cosmos Cheuta, and Juma Miyagi was running for that catch.
Yeah, the question I was asking earlier on, between Juma Miyaji and Joseph Baguma, which one is more younger in age? And when it comes to the game, does age play a factor when it comes to maturity of the game? You'll answer that question after, as we get done with the 12th over here It's 54 for the loss of 3, Team Uganda.
Talking about Joseph Baguma has been given the cherry now. Oh, well bowled. That's a good delivery. Well, maturity of the game really depends on how many games that you play. Because the more you play, the more experienced you become, the more mature you are in terms of your aptitude, how well you read the game. And then there is the natural age. I don't know if it does play a part. Maybe it'll be 50-50 to say that. But those two, I believe that they are well placed. That one's played down. Juma Miyagi would be the more experienced because he's played more games. He's been at the World Cup in terms of the senior men's World Cup. Joseph did go to the Under-19 World Cup. So they are all experienced. But Juma a little bit more because he's both been to the Under-19 and senior men's World Cup. So that's how I would answer your question there. But learning quickly is this man, Joseph Baguma. He has great mentors and teachers in Frank Nsubuga, Henry Senyondo, Alpeshram Johnny. That's a shot. Top shot that'll beat any fielder that'll be 4. Well played by Terindo Pereira.
Hopping onto the back foot there, pacing the gap and the placement just on the ground for 4. He's been playing such handy knocks throughout the tournament, Terindo Pereira.
Yeah, he does possess the power. Can play the shots, but sometimes I believe he backs his power more than reading the game, which is an area I think that there's a lot of development that he can push towards that, Terindo Pereira. Well, the ball getting stuck in the end there. Refuses to come up. Oh, it was too quick for all of us. Cut well. It came from the middle. That'll hit the sweeper.
Tries to play the similar looking shot that he got a boundary off. But this time finds the fielder. End of the 13th over. 60 runs on board for the loss of 3. Team Botswana. That will bring Henry Senyondo back into the attack from the pavilion end. Bowling to Terindo Pereira, who's on 24 at the moment. And his partner, his captain, is on
aged. And well fielded by Riaz Ali just to keep it to 1.
Excellent effort there by the skipper. Showing full intent. The full sprint into that one.
It's up in the air. Who wants it? Great catch. That's a magnificent running catch there from Raghav Dhawan. He kept his eye on the ball all the way through. And that will see the demise of Karamutlanka trying to go for the slog sweep. Not able to get there. A shot from frustration, you'd say.
Yeah, pops it in the air there. What a grab. Went down hard on the ground, but didn't lose the ball. And that will be the end of the skipper's innings. Excellent take there. And that will bring the new man in. Famelo Silas. Henry has picked his first. And we know he has a tendency of picking up wickets once he opens up the gates. Oh, keeping that one on the ground. Required run rate is well over 10 runs right now, 12 to be precise. Huge mountain to climb indeed. Pops it in the air. Put a dive into it. Couldn't get his hands. It's been put down. But a tough effort there.
Have a look at that again. Trying to play it leg side against the turn. Finds the leading edge. Going for the one-handed catch and doesn't get there.
Playing it off the back foot to find the fielder. And that will be the end of the 14th over. It's 63 for the loss of 4. With the end of the over, we'll have a change in the commentary box.
And with 36 deliveries to end this particular fixture, Joseph Baguma will be hoping for a better over. He pulled a third shot for my liking. That's it straight down the ground and he picks up a boundary first up. But that delivery from Baguma yet a bit on the shorter end. But at least you could see that's the delivery that goes the other way. Unable to get it exactly where I wanted to pitch it. Pays the price as it's a little bit short on a slow wicket. Butter is able to wait for it to sit up and play it right over the bowler's head for 4 runs. Botswana requires 75 from 35 deliveries. Herculean task, but not impossible.
Not very possible there. 75 off 35 with that man, of course, Talindo Pereira, who moved to the 30s with that boundary of 25 deliveries. You would feel he would need, of course, a couple of more of those boundaries. to get them over the line. A very good sight there from your screens. Big smiles from Tarindo Pereira and Riazat Ali Shah, the captain, and the wicketkeeper batsman.
The two men there in your frame, the captain and the vice captain. For Uganda, they both have tremendous captaincy records. Echalam is 1 off 1. While Riazat Alisha has only lost 1 game as captain of this T20 unit. But that's the value of this kind of tournament. It does allow opportunities to batters to step up, put their hands up to be counted. And you feel for Botswana, Tarindo Pereira has stood up as perhaps their most reliable all-rounder. It's been a lot more than just handy with bat in hand. He's got in those 20s and 30s. He missed out on scoring that 50 against, I think, Rwanda. But he'll feel very comfortable with what his returns have been in the tournament.
Wide on that occasion from the young Joseph Baguma, who's not been tidy in his second over.
That delivery comes from the front of the arm. It goes the other way. Not many batters will pick it up. He just needs to get it a bit straighter. I like the fact that he's corrected. He had an issue with his foot stepping on the popping crease, but he's bowling much straighter. Oh, turn and bounce. That's more like the young Baguma that we do know.
Look at that on the replay. Off break on that occasion. Look at that bounce. For the pitch, we said earlier. Gets away with it is young Baguma not getting that warning, of course, for 1 per over. How many times do we see that? Especially coming from a spinner, David.
Obviously not too often, but it's good to see that there is some purchase for the spinners. Gets that in the air. Does it have the wings? Yes, it does. Clears that boundary by a margin. 6 runs to Tarindo Pereira. You just feel that Baguma is in between lengths. Some a bit too short and others a lot more fuller. Gave it a bit of air, and that unfortunately is on the fuller side. Tarindo Pereira chances his arm. Goes right over that short boundary.
Talking about that man who moves to 36, Tarindo Pereira, you would feel he came to the party a little bit too late in the tournament. He didn't have a go with the bat in the first 2 to 3 games, not contributing with the blade. But since that game of Team Runaway, he scored 44. You would feel that was the Tarindo Pereira we all knew. 74 for 4 after 14.3. Taking a liking, of course, of Joseph Baguma's half-trackers. Deft touch. Once again from Tarindo Pereira. The chase is on by Cosmas Cheuta. Very good work in the deep. He saves his team. 1 run is Cosmas Cheuta. What a throw from the tall lad.
Bullet arm there from the right arm fast bowler. He's been forced to put in some miles there in the field. But very ably keeps that in and follows it up with that bullet throw. Could have had the batter in trouble there. Look at that. Bullet arm. Pereira did not expect it on his end.
Looking at that on the replay, very good effort indeed from Cosmas Cheuta, but looking back, thinking that man, Henry Senyondo, is going to come and pick up and throw. He wasn't even interested. He's Master Wong. Very good comeback there from Joseph Baguma to close off his second over. Moving at 10 runs and over in his 2 is Team Botswana. 77 for 4 after 15. He's been, of course, brought back to finish his second over. After, of course, these umpires, Gaston Ibizi and Christian Gasana, have had some communication from their third umpire. How crucial can this be? The last delivery. Already 14 runs are coming off his second. In the air on that occasion, Apish and beats Joseph Baguma. They will finish his second with a single. Make that 15 runs coming off the second over of Joseph Baguma. 78 for 4 after 15. Into the last 5 overs. How many more can these two add to the total? Juma Miyaji comes back into the attack from the pavilion end. He went for 15 in his 2. Deciding to go for pacer is Riazat Alisha. Outside offer. How many times have you seen a batsman leaving one in a T20 game?
Doesn't happen often, but you can tell that the plan for Botswana here is to make sure they bat out their allotted 20 overs. Worst case scenario, pick up valuable experience. They don't face such bowling attacks so often, so they would want to get as much out of this encounter as possible.
Knocks him over on that occasion. Nip Baka from Juma Miyaji, picking up his first. Outfoxing that man, Pemelo Silas, who has to depart for his 2 of 7 deliveries. And the 5th wicket goes down.
Full and straight. Not pretty there from Pumelo Silas. His head falling over and allowing Juma Miyagi to bowl him through the gate. He sent for 2 of 7 deliveries. He's one of those batters from Botswana who managed to get some momentum going. He was the man of match in that game whereby Botswana beat Nigeria in that nail bite of a finish. But in walks Tatawone, the all-rounder. You know that obviously they are slightly beneath their depth here, needing to chase down more than 13 and a half and over. So it would be key for him to look to try and support Tarindo Pereira, who is the man that has been there for 28 deliveries and is managing to hit the ball over that boundary.
Juma Miyaji, I've loved the fact that he's come out with all the experience every time he comes to ball his second spell and the last one, attacking the stumps with those, of course, spearing Yorkers. Talking about the tournament, we've had the ILT20 Continental Cup powered by Fancode. 34 innings, 17 matches so far, 4,378 runs with a total of 156s. That man, Robinson Obuya, has 15 of those 150. Shows you how good he has been up front in the power play for Team Uganda. Into the pass, loud appeal. Down the leg, says the umpire, Krista Gasana. Very good Yorker there, top crusher from Juma Miyaji.
You can see Juma Miyagi opting to bowl from that wide angle to try and look to attack the stumps with that big in swinger. But that was easily drifting down the leg side. Tatawone he's more than handy with the bat. We saw him put together that 50-run partnership against Nigeria. Oh, fully beaten there. That's gone right through the gate. Could have seen Juma Miyagi looking to attack those stumps. Balls from again wide of the crease. Ooh. Totally beaten. You'd want to get right behind it.
Talking about, of course, that 50-run partnership from that man Tatayone. We've only had one 100 partnership in this tournament, courtesy of Oscar Manishimwe and Didier Dikubgimana. Chasing down 138 against Team Botswana, winning by 10 wickets. Yet to concede a run is Juma Miyaji. Picked up, of course, that wicket of Silas. Can we see a wicket maiden from that man, Juma Miyaji? 78 for 5 after 15.5. The record is climbing and climbing. Already into 15. Into the block hole. Beating that man, the captain, a short mid-wicket, allowing them to scamper for 2 runs. As we come to the end of the 16th, it is 80 for 5. Talking about Alia Davis, the experience being earned, of course, by the Zebras in this particular fixture. I would love Tarindo Pereira to convert that 39 into a half century. He's been the Lone Ranger in this particular fixture.
Without a doubt, he has batted well, not just in this particular game, but throughout the tournament, especially after those first 2-3 games. So you feel that a 50 for him here would be testament to the amount of hard work he's put in and the weight with which he's put his hand up for Botswana. You just feel that he's been deserving of that 50. But you'll know that the job is not yet done. Cosmas Cheuta is going to be bowling from that airport end.
Change of pace, quarter is the call, but that ball will drop short at that fielder, a third man, Juma Miyaji. Starting off with a leg cutter is Cosmas Cheuta, who gave nothing to the Zebras in his first 2 overs, picking up a wicket going for only 5 runs.
You just feel Uganda so far in the tournament, they have been extremely clinical. Well, they have been asked a couple of questions, especially by Nigeria in that first game against them. And we did see Botswana in that first game of the tournament look to challenge Uganda. Perhaps in that, you feel Uganda have been a very well-oiled machine. Well, all that will count for nothing if they cannot get over the line tomorrow afternoon in that final of the ILT20 Continental Cup, powered by Fancode. By my recollection, Uganda have gone 15 games unbeaten in the Continental Cup. They'll want to continue that record. But you'll feel the yellow greens of Nigeria have been picked up 2 very important victories. They feel that they've won when it has mattered the most. They'll go into that game in the final tomorrow afternoon to play fearless cricket and look to upset the defending champions.
Of course, it's going to be an interesting final tomorrow afternoon. Expecting a big crowd coming in handy in numbers here. We've seen so far some familiar faces in the crowd all the way from Uganda, led of course by the chairman himself, Michael Nwagawa. Very smart bowling there from Cosmas Cheuta, attacking the stumps. Quarter is the call, and the fielder, Pasco Murunji, if I'm not mistaken, puts one down. One of the best fielders in the region. Would have been 2 wickets for Cosmas Cheuta.
Full delivery, hit straight down the throat there of that fielder. At covers. Bit of a shocker. Pin drop silence, obviously, in the field. They know just how good Pasco Murunji is in the field.
Top crusher once again from Cosmas Cheuta, but would fail. That was missing leg by a whisker. Trying to play him, of course, on the onside is Atarindo Pereira, who's been, of course, kept a little bit quiet. Full on that occasion, missing leg. Very easy decision there from Gaston Ibizi Rwanda International. Would love to close off this with a wicket, giving away nothing, only 2 runs in his third. Uganda have put on a collective performance in this tournament. Outside offer. It will end with yet another dot ball, giving away only 6, picking up 1 wicket. It is 82 for 5 after 17.
And with 3 overs to go to end this particular game. Botswana needing 60 runs to win this one. The equation is pretty simple. 20 runs and over. It is one thing to know what the equation is. It's another to have the ability to execute and get them. But you feel that there is valuable experience for Botswana to get out there. Fair ball yet again from Juma Miyagi. Can see him looking to bowl back of a length, not allowing the batters to get under anything.
Touch and go there from Tatayone. Coming back to a couple of stats here. Uganda, of course, led by Robinson Obuya with the bat with 272 runs. Taking over, of course, Oscar Manishimwe, who was on 251 with an average of 31. And with the ball in the top 5, they have 3 bowlers, of course, led by Henry Senyondo with 19 scalps. At number 3, they have Alpesh Ramjani, who missed out today, taking a rest, of course, because of that game, the final. And Dinesh Nakrani, who also had a rest today with 11 scalps. That shows you how good they have been with ball, with the bat, and in the field.
Yeah, just gives you a feeling of just how well the Continental Cup, the ILT20 Continental Cup, powered by Fancode, has been a good hunting ground for the Ugandan players to come and look to be as dominant as possible, pick up as many wickets, get a couple of runs, build momentum. You can have a very busy year coming up next year. They have the Challenge League B, which they obviously sit on top of. They have that round coming up in February, I think, in Hong Kong. Later on in the year, there will be, I think, in Tanzania for the third and final leg. But there is that World Cup T20 qualifier that is going to be happening in Zimbabwe, I think in September. So they have a busy year, and it's important for them to pick momentum as early as possible.
Busier it is, but I'll tell you, these young boys are there on your screen. Juma Miyaji, they are built for this particular game. Told you earlier in the tournament how Juma Miyaji told me that he wants to click 150 next year. He's going to go back knowing he has to put in a lot of effort, of course, in the nets, hitting the gym hard alongside his partner, Cosmas Cheuta. Touch and go once again from Tatayone Tose. Coming back, of course, knowing that this is the second edition. I'm lucky to be seated with you here in the commentary box. You are part of the first edition. I would love to ask you, how do you compare these two? The first, that was, of course, in our neighboring country, Kenya, and this one here in Kigali. How would you compare the two, Davis?
Putting me on the spot there.
Short ball, quarter is the call. Over that man, Frank Subuga. Allowing it to go all the way for a maximum. To close off, of course, his quarter. Picking up 1 wicket, going for 26 is Juma Miyaji.
Short delivery, you could see what he's trying to do there. Trying to make sure he gets Tarindo Pereira trapped. A meter or two for Frank to have been on the rope. That could have been a catch completed. But Tarindo Pereira is on 47 of 35. Botswana 91 for 5 after 18.
Said you'd do it, but I think Eli will respond. She had said you will be able to do the last postmark, but Eli will go and do it.
Down to the last 12 deliveries in this game. Match day 9, game number 18. What a tournament we've had. As we see Cosmas Cheuta coming in to finish his quarter from the airport end. I'll come back to that question. You said I've put you on the spot, Davis. You will have to answer. A lot of people are waiting for that reply. What have you done, Cosmas Cheuta there?
But you can see what he's trying to do, of course, with the third man up. That will give you, it will be a bit of an insight of what he intends to do. He's going to try and take as much pace off as possible. But Tarindo Pereira will know he's one hit away from picking up that 50. So he wants to get on strike. If Tatayone can get him that single and get him on strike.
Well played from Tatayone, beating those two fielders at point and short third, allowing them to scamper for 2 runs. Just raise it very right. I would love to see Tatayone getting a single and allowing Tarindo Pereira to get a half century.
But you feel Botswana, having come to the land of 1,000 hills as runners-up in that tournament, you feel they have done decently. They would have liked to obviously make it to that tomorrow's afternoon final, but they have really tried to push Nigeria and Uganda, you'd say.
Up. Catches the call. There's a fielder, the captain, under it, who takes an easy catch is Riazat Alisha. Cosmas picking up his second. You would feel he missed out on that drop of Pascal Muruji, but he has made sure is Riazat Alisha, who takes an easy catch to end Tatayone's tournament.
There it was yet again, another slower delivery. Tatayone unable to pick that up and could only leave it right on top of that field at point. Riazat Alisha completes an easy catch. He sent packing 7 of 11, but you'll know that he put in a very handy knock against Nigeria that was instrumental in allowing Botswana pick up that memorable victory against Nigeria.
As we see Cattle Pate joining Tarindo Pereira, talking about, of course, Team Botswana trying to play the finals, of course. Unfortunately, there won't be. Shows you how competitive this tournament has been. But for the 3 sides, Botswana, Nigeria and Team Rwanda, coming down to the last day of the round robin, where of course Team Rwanda had to pay the price earlier in the morning.
I think looking at what the 12 months have done from the last Continental Cup, Rwanda will be one of the happier teams. Last time round they could only manage to beat Botswana once. This time they've beaten Botswana twice. And not just beaten them, but they've beaten them comprehensively. But back the cricket. Cosmas Cheuta guilty of bowling a beamer way outside off stump. That runs away down to that boundary. But yeah, and it's good to see that in this particular version, we've seen Nigeria fly here to participate in the tournament. There it is, that beam a bit too high, dangerous.
That's a beamer to any batsman in the world. Free hit to come, Cattle Peter. Takes a little shimmy. Not enough connection. Who get off the mark is Cattle Pete. Of course, Rwanda will be the happier, given that now they have overtaken Team Botswana in terms of head-to-head. They have now won 5 games, if I'm not mistaken, against Team Botswana, given that they have an average age of 22 in their side. You would feel the future is bright. Into the pads, plays it down to that field at long on. Will be 2 runs shy of that half century is Talindo Pereira, the Lone Ranger for Team Botswana. Hard hands on that occasion from Cattle Pate, beaten by the pacer. Dropping short, of course, of that man, Riazat Ali Shah at point. Very good spell it has been for Cosmas Cheuta, giving away 12 for picking up 2 wickets. Would love to finish on a high. He has a big game, of course, tomorrow. The finals of the ILT20 Continental Cup powered by Fancode. Crossing that 100 mark is Team Botswana, losing 6 wickets. You would feel that they have done their part. Into the block hole, driven powerfully down to that fielder in the deep at long on. Who'll finish with a single in his quarter. Going for 13, picking up 2 wickets is Cosmas Cheuta. Into the last 6 deliveries. It's going to be Frank Suga to bowl at the last over. Coming in from the pavilion end. Of course, Juma Miyaji finishes his quarter and Cosmas Cheuta. Coming back to my point, I'm not sure why you're trying to run away from my question, Davis. How do you compare these two ILT20 Continental Cup? You've been part of course, one in Kenya and this one. You've been part of them.
I was trying to give context, obviously. Last time you gave me an opportunity to say a word or two. But I'll tell you, for me, back the cricket itself, I'm a bit shocked that Talindo Pereira decided to take that single on the over ball, allowing Cattle Pate to take strike. When Talindo Pereira is 2 runs away from that 50. Well, it's now 4 balls to go. Talindo Pereira finds himself stuck on the non-striker's end. Getting interesting here, Bob.
To me, it's the awareness from Pereira missing out. Missed chance there from the wicketkeeper batsman. Beaten by the turn. It beats everyone, including Cattle Pete and Fred. 3 more deliveries to come for that man Talindo Pereira to get on strike.
Cattle Pate dust down the wicket. Took a big swipe at it. Could only get a faint edge. Runs away down to that boundary. But the more important part is that Cattle Pate is on strike. Cleans him up and leaves just 2 deliveries. Talindo Pereira finds himself stuck on the non-striker's end.
One of those days where you go back at the hotel and ask yourself, why did I take that single? Frank Subuga will be happy picking up yet another wicket, coming round the wicket. Trying to play him on the offside is Cattle Pete, as he gets, of course, a taste of his own medicine, departing for his 6 of 8. The big question now is the new man in.
Bobby, you can imagine the conversation that has happened between Bomo Kumalo and Tarendo Pereira is simply begging him to try and get a single, get him on strike, so he can face that overball to see if he can pick up his first 50 against Uganda. He surely does deserve it. He's batted extremely well in what you'd have called difficult conditions on a wicket that has been two-paced, offering a lot of punches for the spinners. But here we go. What does Bomo Kumalo do?
Touch and go, I would say. Rocks back on the back foot. I'm not sure why they're not taking that single. Who'll stay stranded on the non-striker with his 48 of 36 is Tarindo Pereira. Last ball to come. Unless that man Frank Subuga bowls a wide. Goes big on that occasion. It doesn't matter. That man Tarindo Pereira won't get to his 50. The Uskampo for the second run are these two. Finishing with figures of 3 for 11 in his 4 overs is Frank Subuga. Handshakes all over the ground there from, of course, that man, Fred Achelam, the wicketkeeper batsman. They know they've done their job, still unbeaten in the ILT20 Continental Cup. Uganda winning by 33 runs once again, convincingly. There you see the batting chart, of course. Karumo Motlaka's pedestrian knock has had to come to an end. Courtesy of Henry Senyondo. 28 off 38. Nothing but from Vino Kasoman and Regina Nehonde, who didn't contribute anything. But that man, Tarindo Pereira, not out 48 off 36. And again, when you remove that 28 and 48, the rest is history from the Zebras batsmen. 10 extras being bowled, of course, by the men in yellow and red. As we have a look at the bowling chart of Team Uganda, still unbeaten in the round robin, as they'll be playing the finals, of course, tomorrow. Frank Subuga finishing with a 3 for 13 in his 4 overs. Again, Cosmas Cheuta picking up 2, and his paceman Juma Miyaji picking up a wicket, going for 26. Henry Senyondo's tidy 4 overs went for only 16 and only 1 wicket with a very good economy of 4 runs. Riazat Ali Shah had a go in his 2 overs alongside Joseph Baguma, who was a little bit expensive, going for 10 and over in his 2 overs. Uganda, of course, winning by 33. Let's have a look at the power play. Started off with Frank Subuga bowling 1 into the arc of Avino, taking a liking of him until he hoiled out to that catch at mid-off. Riazat Ali Shah, who didn't take any sighters, alongside Robinson Obuya, picking up those 2 wickets. Trapper by Frank Subuga, getting rid of Reginald Nehonde for his 0 of 6 deliveries. That man joined the party is Tarindo Pereira, getting boundaries with ease, taking a liking, of course, of the part-time bowlers. Up and over there from Riazat Ali Shah. That run-out chance that went begging. You would have felt Cosmas Cheuta had chipped in a very good throw. That man kept getting boundaries with ease is Tarindo Pereira. And Karabo Montlaka's pedestrian knock had to come to an end with a very good catch from Raghav Dhawan, diving forward. Pereira kept on piling up runs, hitting down to the side screener. Joseph Baguma's day in the office kept getting to worse after that big 6 that went all the way over the side screener. Juma Miyaji getting that nip back, sending Pamelo Silas back to the dugout, kept picking up wickets with ease, and that man chipping away a very easy catch. Yet again, Riazat Ali Shah picking up his second catch, going on the back foot was Katlo Peita, deceived, of course, with that drifting from Frank Subuga. And with that, highlights will be down there for our post-match presentation. There you see match summary. Uganda, of course, led by Robinson Obuya, getting his second half century of the tournament, 50 off 37. Riazat Ali Shah contributing, the captain, 34 off 37. Shridik Magela once again, 18 off 21. With the bowling chart there, it's Moloki Mokesi picking up 2 and Bweme Komalo 2 apiece. A little bit expensive on that occasion. Botswana, of course, that man, 48 not out. Tarindo Pereira off 36 and Karabo, the captain, 28 off 38. Nothing much from Tatayone and Frank Subuga taking 3 wickets for 13 in his allotted overs, and Cosmas Henry Senyondo picking up 2 and 1 respective. Very good economy there, going for only 16 runs from Henry Senyondo. Uganda winning by 33. We go down straight to the post-match presentation with our co-commentator, Mr. Eli.
So good afternoon and welcome to the post-match presentation of this afternoon's encounter between Botswana and Uganda. Uganda won the toss and they elected to bat first, putting up 141 runs. 142 was the target, but somehow it proved too much for Botswana. We'll have a chat with the Botswana captain. That'll be Karabo Mutlanka. Karabo, the tournament coming to an end. This one was a pretty difficult one. How would you sum up where you guys went wrong? Because you came out and restricted Botswana, Uganda to 141.
We did. I think we did well to restrict them, despite maybe a couple of mishaps on the field. But we found it tough going when batting on that wicket in the second innings. It really slowed up, and we couldn't really get our shots going.
Then how would you summarize the tournament for Botswana as a whole? Some positives that you guys pick up and areas that you would want to work on?
I think generally it's probably a problem of consistency. I think in patches we played very, very well, and then we were very poor also at times. So it's about finding the middle ground and finding the consistency with the good stuff.
And we talk about you as a captain. You led the side. You've been the backbone batting-wise. How did you manage to do that consistently throughout the tournament?
To be honest, it's trying to get up for it every day, trying to win every game, trying to contribute to the team. To be honest, I think I should have done more personally, but till next time.
Good luck and better luck in the next one.
Thank you.
Now let's have a chat with the winning captain of Uganda, Riazat Ali Shah. Riazat, another win. You stroll into the final undefeated. How does it feel?
It feels amazing. Undefeated in this whole tournament, it feels amazing.
And then we take a look at today's performance. Pretty slow out of the blocks, although you decided to bat first. What do you think was the result of that?
It was not easy wicket to bat on, first of all, and we wanted to score above 140. That was our mindset, the way we played, and we achieved in the target because the wicket was not, there is no bounce in this wicket, and we want to just go spend some time there and score one above 140.
And then we take a look at some of your batters. Robinson Obuya quite blistering in the power play. How essential has he been to your team?
In whole this tournament, even in ICC tournaments, he has been amazing for us. The way he's scoring runs in power play, the way we want him to play, that's how he's playing, and we want him to play like this to whole this next year, and he will give us more success and give us more runs.
Thank you so much. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
As the captain of Uganda. Now we have a look at the player of the match moment. Our third umpire of the match, Mr. Anasi Habib, will come through with the trophy. He'll be doing the presentation. Quite a number of reasonable performances of note. Terindo Pereira scored 48, too short of his maiden 50 in the tournament. Robinson Obuya, a blistering 50 from 36. But however, player of the match will be Frank Nsubuga of Uganda, who picked up 3 wickets in his 4 overs for 13 runs. A magnificent performance. Thank you so much, Mr. Anasi. Frank, have a chat with me. Frank, you've been a consistent performer for Uganda. What's the key?
Yeah, it's all about keeping yourself fit, first of all, and also to look after yourself, what you do and what you do, and your discipline as well.
Let's take a look at how you bowl. You come through in the power play many a times, and then even towards the death sometimes. How do you navigate those difficult periods?
Yeah, it's all about first you keep yourself calm, and also the way the wicket was playing was gripping. It's all about bowling wicket and hitting the right length.
Thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you so much, sir.
That's it from here in the middle. Our player of the match, Frank Nsubuga. We send it back to the commentary box to wrap it up as we look forward to tomorrow's encounter.
Let's have a look at the match summary. Uganda, of course, Robinson Obuya's second half century, 50 off 37. Riyazat Alisha, the captain, once again contributing 34 off 37. And Shridip Mangela, once again, 18 off 21. Moloki was the picker with 2 wickets going for 25 in his allotted 4 overs. And Bome Kumalo, once again, picking up 2, a little bit expensive, going for 10 runs and over in his allotted 4 overs. Uganda winning by 33. There you see the big game tomorrow afternoon here at Ganga International Cricket Ground. Uganda will be taking on Team Nigeria. It's me, Songa Bashir, signing out.